Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to talk about what we have gotten over the past couple of days about the updates to the 2021 season for the Overwatch League. We've gotten some news recently about changes that are coming, and so I thought I would talk about them, and I'll link to all the things in the description down below. So, to start, obviously the new legendary skins are out. The Shock MVP skin or the Shock Championship skin, as well as the Fleta MVP skin. The Midas Roadhog skin was announced a few weeks ago. At this point in time, I don't remember exactly when, but that skin was announced. So that one was released, and we got a look at the Good vs. Evil Echo skin for the first time. Of course, for Fleta. So if that is a skin that you are interested in getting, they are 200 Overwatch League tokens each. You can see them on the screen. I'm playing the clip that shows all the skins. So those are a thing. This is the final MVP skin they'll be doing, so something I'm sad to see it go. I understand why it's going, based on obviously what's been happening recently, but I think it'd be great to keep them going. But there's obviously a risk that you take when you do something like that. But championship team trophies, I believe, or championship team skins are staying. So that's the first quick thing I want to talk about. The second thing I wanted to talk about is that we got the desk reveal for the 2021 season, and it is the same three people from last season returning: Zoe to host, Reinforce, Custa as analysts, with an addition of a fourth individual, and it is the one, the only, the lovely Danny Lim. He is back. I think bringing Danny in is a fantastic addition to the panel. Obviously somebody who we've seen from back in 2018. He was the main guy there for translating interviews, and then he became one of the interview people in 2019. Did not have a big role in 2020, only really coming into the league, helping with the playoffs and being there for interviews and translation. But having him as a full-time member of the desk, I think, is a fantastic move. I think it allows the Western audience who will be watching this desk to have better access to Korean players and Korean talent in some of these teams that are playing in North America but have Korean players and all Korean rosters, up to the shock of a lot of Korean players. But you also have the Washington Justice and the Dallas Fuel, which are entirely Korean rosters. The Florida Mayhem are entirely Korean rosters. Now you at least have that connective piece, somebody who can just have the interview with the, who you're used to seeing. You're not bringing him in just for that. He's a central part, a main role. I had been kind of hoping we had something like that happen. Somebody like Bishu or Ark, who we know have fluent English and Korean, who they can kind of be that connective piece. They can help connect the Western audience with the Korean audience. I think a player would have been good because you would have gotten a bit of a better idea of what happens in Korean teams and maybe differs from some of these other teams. But Danny is a great option as well, and I think Danny is a fantastic person to bring in for the desk. So I'm very happy that we have Danny Lim for the 2021 desk. I think this desk is going to be great. I loved Custa and Zoe and Reinforce last year. I thought they were great. I loved their banter. I loved the way that they roasted each other. Mainly, Custa bashing Reinforce bashing Custa, Zoe just kind of there doing her thing, bashing both of them. It was good times. So I think that it was a really good desk, and I'm glad to see it coming back with the addition of Danny, who I think is a very good interviewer and as someone who has that connection to the Korean audience and the Korean players. So huge upgrade to the desk, in my opinion, with the addition of Danny, and it's already a really good desk as is. So very happy to see the direction that they have gone with that. Let's talk about this article that came out from the Overwatch League, where they said we're upgrading the Overwatch League viewing experience. This is the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video. It's all kind of smaller things in the grand scheme of things, but it's a lot of kind of small things that add up to be a pretty big overhaul of the Overwatch League viewing experience on YouTube. Something that I am very very excited for. So let's talk about what we have. The first thing is that in-game rewards are back for the YouTube gaming audience. Obviously, Twitch drops were a thing back when the Overwatch League was on Twitch. Now that they have moved over to YouTube gaming, that was a problem that people had last season. There were no drops. You couldn't get drops for the Overwatch League when you watched it on YouTube, but now you can get your drops again. You could do it if you watched it on the Overwatch League website or on the app, but they have added it to YouTube. So as they say, starting with the Flash Op Experimental Card Tournament, which happened this past weekend, and continuing through the 2021 season, you'll be able to watch live matches and earn rewards directly on the Overwatch League YouTube channel, as well as on OverwatchLeague.com and the Overwatch League app. All you need to do is create a Blizzard account and link it with your YouTube account to start enjoying the Overwatch League perks by T-Mobile. It's sponsored this time around. This season, you'll be able to earn League tokens to use on a wider selection of Overwatch League skins and sprays, including the 2 new legendary skins that I talked about earlier, a custom opening week spray designed by Zoe Schwind, or Schwind, I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, and more. There's a little link included there that you can get started, and there's more details on there that I won't go fully detailed into, but, you know, much like you had in the past, you link your account, your Blizzard account to your YouTube account, and then you can earn rewards when you watch. I want it to be noted that you cannot connect a brand YouTube account to your Blizzard account. It has to be your primary YouTube account. I learned of this because this YouTube account is technically a brand account, so I technically cannot watch on this account to get the rewards. I have to use my main account, but you know that's just a quick like switch accounts thing. It's a little frustrating, a little annoying, but I guess I do kind of understand why it happens, because you have to be able to connect it directly to the main account, and that's just the way that it works. So it's unfortunate. Obviously, you can always make changes. You can change the name of your account or whatever, but be aware of that. They tell you when you try to link your brand account, you have to go back to your main account to do it. So just if you have accounts under your main Google account on YouTube, just know that that is how that works. So you're not like, what is happening? As they say here as well, for starting May 7th with the tournament matches, beginning with the May Melee on May 7th, earn 1 Overwatch League skin, the gray and white variant of the skins, by watching 4 hours of live matches during the tournaments. A new hero skin will be chosen for each tournament and will appear in your account within 24 hours of earning, and hours reset every tournament. So you'll be able to get probably 5 skins, 1 for May Melee, 1 for Summer Showdown, June Joust, Countdown Cup. I know I just said those out of order. And then the playoffs, you'll probably be able to get another one. There's also some commemorative sprays. So there'll be tournament-specific sprays designed by the Overwatch League community members, which are very cool. And these sprays are custom designed based on the tournament results and will appear in your account at a later date. I love that. You'll get sprays that commemorate the teams that win tournaments, which I think is awesome. I think that is a great thing to do. I think that is a really cool way to make it so that people have, that the teams are commemorated and are, basically immortalized for what they do. And then they end with just saying, look at the schedules and when to watch for all these things. You'll get tokens just for watching at any point in time during the season, but you'll get the skins and sprays during the tournaments. They don't list the playoffs here, but I guess that's something that we'll find out when we get to playoff time. They don't always reveal stuff about playoffs until usually late in the season, so to be expected. But in case you're wondering, you earn 5 League tokens every hour you watch live Overwatch League matches on available platforms. So I believe it's gone up. I believe it used to be 3. Now it's 5. So pretty good. The next thing is that the Overwatch League will be in 4K now. You can watch it in 4K. And that is for live and on-demand matches. And that is on YouTube, the website, the app, on any device that can support it. They have also added clipping to the YouTube live streams, so you can clip videos on the YouTube channel, and it will allow you to clip and share your favorite moments for up to 60 seconds. They have a little thing about how it works. It is in limited alpha, so only a couple of channels have it, but the Overwatch League is one of them, so if that is something you wanted to share, That is a thing now. That was one of the biggest issues that a lot of people had when the Overwatch League moved away from Twitch, was the lack of clips and the loss of clips. So now that clips are back, I think that they are doing a lot to make the YouTube viewing experience as good, if not better, than what it was on Twitch. You still obviously are going to lack a lot of the emotes, and you're going to lack a lot of the kind of same like community level of engagement that Twitch had in a lot of ways, but I think you're getting to the point now where YouTube is starting to catch up in the places where Twitch has kind of bested them, you know, primarily with clips and the drops, and maybe the all access pass will come back eventually, but I know they've said with the replay viewer they don't really see that as a necessity anymore, so we'll see what happens with that. But I think YouTube is a way better platform for the videos themselves and the actual like streaming. It's just that there's some kind of community-based things that Twitch does a lot better, but I love the switch to YouTube in terms of just being able to watch the matches and the quality and the on-demand viewing. So getting clips now and all this other stuff I think is really, really big and will be a huge help for the Overwatch League on YouTube. The next thing they're doing for this season is that they're going to have always-on player cameras. So the setups will allow fans to see more live shots of all the players competing. Generally, when we're observing an individual player in first person, we will also show their player camera feed live as well. They plan to incorporate live player comms into the show at select moments so you can get even closer to the action and your favorite players, which is pretty cool. It'll be a little interesting to hear Korean comms. I always love hearing Korean comms. It can be a little difficult because I don't speak fluent Korean. I know some Korean. I'm learning it as I go, but it is not perfect and it's difficult to hear. But it's always interesting to hear kind of who's the shot caller for the teams, because you can pick up on who the voices are when you listen to the players enough and the teams enough. So curious to see that, interested to see that, and I'm hopeful that we get some good listens. I can't even think of the word. We get to hear some comms, which I think would be nice to hear. This next change, which is one of the main changes, is something I think is massive, and I think it is one of the best changes they are doing for this. I think it is lovely, and I think it is super smart. They are doing encore matches, and what this means is that because there are teams that are from North America, the NYXL, the Philadelphia Fusion, the LA Valiant, that are playing in Asia and in the Eastern region, they are going to have encore matches, which will happen before Watch Point, before the Western matches. They will designate one match featuring one of the Western teams, so NYXL, Fusion, or LA Valiant, to play before Watch Point. So you'll be able to get your rewards from watching it, unlike you would do with VODs, and you can still watch them with fans, and it's a great way to watch it. Technically, it would be spoiler-free. You wouldn't know what's happening, though you kind of have an idea because you know when it's going to start and when it's going to end. So it's not perfect, but it is a nice way to watch with other people. I always had an issue last year when you went to watch a match and you didn't actually know, or you knew what was going to happen because you could see how long it was, right? So you could be like, oh, well, this is like an hour-long match, which means that whoever wins map 1 is going to dominate the last 2 maps, and it's going to be easy. So I do like this edition. It's not going to be perfect, but as long as it's kind of a spoiler-free viewing mode, I have less of an issue with it. And they include a schedule for all of the encore matches. So the first one, or the first weekend of them, I'll say, you have the Philadelphia Fusion taking on the Seoul Dynasty April 17th, and then the Philadelphia Fusion taking on the LA Valiant April 18th. And then the second week is when you get the 2 NYXL matches. So you know I have my eyes on those. New York actually plays 8 straight encore matches. April 24th, 25th, 30th, May 1st, May 22nd, May 23rd, May 29th, May 30th. A lot of New York. Big fan of that. Any New York is good. And then the final thing that they are adding is they're adding more control over the way the scores ticker works. So what they say here is we're also introducing a new match scores ticker and a spoiler-free mode that allows fans to hide match results on the scores ticker, schedule, and standing sections. The scores ticker and spoiler-free mode is scheduled to launch at the start of the Overwatch League season on April 16th. They've also designed a new virtual set and broadcast graphics package, and they cannot wait to unveil those on April 16th. So overall, I think these are really good changes. I love the spoiler-free change. I think the spoiler-free change is really good. One of the worst things about going into last season was you'd go to try to watch a match, and you were like, oh, and I saw what happened. Right? You didn't mean to. You tried to avoid it, but it was unavoidable at times. And you'd go to see what was going on. You'd get spoiled, and then you're like, well, that's not fun. But that is not as big of an issue anymore when you have a spoiler-free viewing thing. So that's always a good thing to have. And I'm really a big fan of having these changes that I think will make the Overwatch League viewing experience much better. I know a lot of people were critical of the move off of Twitch, and I think there are a lot of valid reasons to have those criticisms because of things like losing clipping and losing the drops and losing the all access pass and losing the chat that is as good as the way Twitch is, right? Like, I don't mind losing some of that stuff. Losing the drops was a little annoying. I don't really care about Twitch chat. I don't even look at chat when I'm watching. And clips are something that I don't personally clip things myself, but having easy access to clipping was a very good way to post things on Reddit, to share little moments that happened, and it makes it easier to kind of break things down when you can just easily clip it, save it, and then move it over to something. I think it'll make the broadcast better because they'll be able to clip specific moments more easily built into the player, and I think that will help a lot in the way that the overall experience is done. So huge credit and huge kudos to YouTube, I think, for really, really putting the time and effort into making the streaming experience and the Overwatch League viewing experience significantly better from what it was last season. I loved the move over to YouTube. YouTube gives a lot more, like I said, better access to VOD content. YouTube is supported on more platforms. Twitch, for example, is not supported on Roku. At least it wasn't the last time I checked. So if you have a Roku, you can't watch Twitch on the TV. Something that I love to be able to do is watch Overwatch League on the TV. So YouTube is supported on more platforms. It's supported on the Nintendo Switch, which, once again, that is not the case with Twitch, at least currently. So having these ways to have more access to it is big. I still think there's some things that YouTube needs to do to improve the discoverability of live content, because I still think that is their biggest problem. It's really difficult. Twitch, you can just go on Twitch and you can find anything really easily because that's the main focus. YouTube live streaming is not the main focus, and so they have really kind of dropped the ball on making that content discoverable, especially people who are live currently. So it is something that I think they do need to work on. They do need to fix and make better. But I am really, really, really happy with what they have done so far. And I think that what we have seen from the Overwatch League and YouTube going into 2021 has me very, very hopeful. The new desk crew, we know Uber and Mr. X are back casting. We have these cool skins that we have now for us to want to get. And I think it's a really, really, really good change that is going forward, and I'm very excited for the season to start, to get underway, and for us to finally be able to talk about the Overwatch League again. But that is it for me today. Let me know your thoughts on all of these things in the comments down below. Check the description for links to everything that I talked about today. But that is all from me. Thank you once again. Hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy. And until next time, bye-bye.